Now, when you're working with a vendor account receivable, it really is no different than working with a customer except for just a couple things. So the first thing is you're still going to locate the contact. You can still view current AR. You can still create a manual receivable. So all of this stuff still applies. But the difference is that over here on the right, you're going to see additional radio buttons. You won't see these on a customer record, but because this person or this particular company is set up as a manufacturer, and they have actually you've at some point created rebates and warranties and refunds, they show up over here as options. So that it's kind of dynamic. They show up if there's something there to actually see. So in this case, if we go to rebates, you'll notice there's nothing that shows up here, but if we click view all, you can see that at one time there actually was an account receivable created for a rebate that was owed by this vendor to us. If we go over here to refunds, we can actually turn this off because we actually have refunds at the moment that we can work with. Now, what we're going to do is the vendor is going to send us most likely a credit memo or an invoice of sorts that says that we're giving you credit for all of these rebates or all of these refunds or whatever it happens to be. And what we need to do is we need to pay those things so that they become available in accounts payable to use when we're paying our bill at the end of the month. So the first step is to locate them. The second step is to select the specific thing that I want to pay. So in this case, we're going to say we're paying refunds, and then we're going to select pay receivables. Now, just like when we paid a regular customer AR, it works the same way. So there's no magic going on. There's no difference here. There's just a few other options that we have. So one additional option is we're going to select the items that we want to pay, and then over here on the right we have a write-off difference. And basically what that means is the vendor may not have paid us the full $99.99 for this particular item. They may have only paid us $90 because they had a shipping and handling, or they had a restocking fee or whatever. So they only paid us $90, and instead of arguing with them over the $9.99, I'm just going to tell it to write the difference off. It'll be done, and I'm finished with this particular item. I won't have to worry about it anymore. If you want to dicker with them and try to get the money, then you just leave this unchecked, and it will leave the $9.99 on their account saying they still owe you the money, and you can write it off later. So it's really up to you whether you write it off now, later, or what you do here. So in this particular case, I'm going to tell it to write it off, and then we're just going to come down here to the bottom. Now, this is the second part of this that we need to make sure that we have right, is that when we actually make a payment, we want to enter this as a credit memo. And what a credit memo is it works kind of like a check, but instead of having an actual payment that we're doing here, we're telling Lizzy that, look, they are processing this, but don't pay it off because they didn't give me a check. Make this available in accounts payable so that I can actually use it over there when I'm making a payment. So in this point, I'm just going to type in the credit memo or invoice number that they gave me for this particular item, and we're just going to tell it to process the payment. And so we're going to go back over, we got to go use defaults and then tell it to save. All right, so now we're going to go back to view current AR, and you can see in the refund section that particular item is gone. If we tell it to view all, we can see the original $99.99 here, and if we open up details, we can see that we had a $99.99. The current available is 0, and then if we open up our GL hits, we can actually see everything that was done on that particular item when we did it. So the process for doing the payments on whether it's refunds, rebates, whatever, they're all the same. Now, in the event that they actually gave us a check to pay for this, then we're just going to select a check payment just like it was a regular account receivable for a customer and pay it. And that'll go into the cash drawer to be deposited in the bank and all that kind of stuff. So the process for doing all this stuff is very, very similar to working with an actual customer account. It's just we're picking a specific type of account and possibly a different payment method.